Good day, sir. I am Niljan P. Floreta, third year BS Criminology, and I am here to discuss about traffic management and accident investigation under the subject matter CDI4. So in this video presentation, I will tackle about the history of traffic management in Philippines. What is traffic management and its implication in different settings? What is traffic congestion and traffic congestion in different countries? And lastly, I will discuss about offices in Philippines with concern to traffic management. So first is Philippine traffic control history. So the initial means of transportation of goods and people and commodities in early Philippines were animals. Then shortly after, early Filipinos innovated and then created or made use of animal-drawn vehicles, or also known as kalesa. Years later, colonizers introduced to us motor vehicles. Then, in around 1900s, the use of motor vehicles introduced by colonizers such as Americans, they introduced to us the use of jeepney. Sila ang dahilan kung bakit mayroon tayong mga jeepney dito sa ating bansa. So in 1900s, motor vehicle and animal-drawn vehicles were very evident in the streets of the Philippines. That's why the government formulated on February 6, 1912, Legislative Act number 2159 was enacted to regulate motor vehicles in the Philippine Islands and to provide for regulation and licensing of operators. So, Act number 2159 serves as a law to regulate these vehicles and to license operators for them to be credited to be able to use their vehicles in Philippine territory. Then later on, Legislative Act 2159, or the previous act that I have said, was amended by 2389, 2556, 2587, 2639, and 2925. In 1922, Act number 3045 was passed into law, compiling and incorporating all laws governing motor vehicles. So, Legislative Act number 3045 is a law that integrates all laws that govern motor vehicles. So from the licensing, from the regulation. So dito na act, inisa na siya, and then they made the automobile division under the Bureau of Public Works take charge of this responsibility. Then, shortly after, on January 1, 1933, Act number 3992, otherwise known as the Revised Motor Vehicle Law, was enacted, amending Act number 3045. The Automobile Division was renamed Division of Motor Vehicles. So, the act that was said earlier, Act number 3045, was amended. Then it was called the division, the Automobile Division, who was in charge of regulation and all forms of laws with concern to traffic management or traffic control, is now called the Motor Division of Motor Vehicles. Then, long after that, on June 2, 1980, Batas Pambansa bilang 43 was passed, providing for the issuance of permanent number plates to owners of motor vehicles and trailers, amending for the purpose Section 17 of RA 4136. So the purpose of this Batas Pambansa was to issue permanent plate numbers. This gives distinction towards motor vehicles, among motor vehicles, and as well as to tax vehicle owners, and to give credit to their cars for them to be able to use their cars in the Philippine territory. So traffic management, this is the second topic that I am going to discuss. Traffic management is an exclusive function, task in planning, organizing, and directing, supervising, coordinating, operating, documenting, and budgeting, comprised with measures to preserve traffic capacity and improve the security, safety, and reliability of overall traffic systems. That also includes all agencies towards responsibilities in relation to traffic control. So, before studying the subject matter, my mentality about traffic control was otherwise. Akala ko it only involves traffic control at roads. Kanang mga makita nato ng mga enforcer. I thought that was it, that they were only controlling the traffic. For me, that was already traffic management. However, its scope is wider than that. So, it is very helpful for us students, with this information presented, that we will give distinction or the proper definition of traffic management, especially for us criminology students. So, the main point of traffic control is to maintain and upgrade traffic services and systems. This includes mga nindot nga dalan, safer roads, So, not only limited to controlling the flow of traffic and avoiding traffic congestion. So, traffic management in different countries. So, first, of course, Philippines, our motherland. So, Philippines, there are agencies and organizations that aid traffic management. So, on the screen are examples, and there are also systems that aid traffic management. So, traffic management in the Philippines is aided with various agencies tasked for creating infrastructure, budgeting funds, planning for new schemes and regulations for drivers, implementation of these regulations, and monitoring policies. Also, Philippines has systems and measures implemented for optimum traffic management. So, every agency or Philippine office here in the screen, such as the LTO, MMDA, DPWH, LTFRB, PNP, HPG, has their own responsibility concerning traffic management. And later on, we will discuss their individual functions that will aid to traffic management, and the systems that the Philippines apply in order to create order in our traffic systems are the following. These examples are only few of them, There are a lot. So, the first one is speed limit. This helps avoid car accidents or collisions among cars. And bike lane serves the purpose to cyclists so that they will be able to use their bicycles in a safer manner when they are traveling in highways or in roads where there are larger cars present. So they have a bike lane for them to be able to ride their bikes safely. Plate number coding scheme, or also known as coding, this limits vehicles, on particular days where a specific number of their vehicle will be restricted from traveling, so that this will help the avoidance of congestion in highways and express lanes and RFID. So express lanes are private lanes such as NLEX or SLEX. So before, when passing through express lanes, they will pay toll fee for using the private lane. However, so recently lang, they have developed the RFID system, or radio frequency ID, a sticker that you will put in your bumper, which whenever you pass the toll gate, no, you no longer have to stop because it will automatically charge your vehicle of the toll fee. Next, the Singapore. Singapore is, as we all know, no, Singapore is a very advanced country. So they have developed their own systems, which are the following. So the following systems are COE, or also known as the Certificate of Entitlement. So for you to be able to use a vehicle or own a vehicle, you have to own COE. So this entitlement is very hard to obtain or acquire, because this advocates the individuals to own few cars. Kasi mahirap parati ka magpila doon para lang sa sasakyan mo. So this helps the country to maintain low number of car owners. And also, when you have acquired the certain certificate, the ownership of your vehicle will only be valid for 10 years. Then, also they have this ERP, or Electronic Road Pricing and Area License Scheme. Area License Scheme, no, this was first developed before ERP. This is like the expressway scheme. Area license requires drivers of vehicles to pay toll fee when entering certain areas in Singapore. Then shortly after, it is amended by ERP, where there is also an automatic pricing, road pricing, whenever your vehicle passes through it. This limits, no, drivers from entering highways because of the toll fee or the charge that they will be going to face, no. So also in Singapore, there is also free public transport, no, discouraging citizens to use their private vehicles. This also aids the congestion level, since more people will use this free public transport. And the offices in Singapore with concern to their traffic management are the Singapore Police, the Traffic Police Department. They are in charge of regulating and maintaining, no, order in traffic management. And Land Transport Authority, they are in charge of creating and managing policies with concern to traffic management and vehicle ownership. Then next is the country of Japan. So Japan has also its own system to aid their traffic management. So Universal Traffic Management System, or UTMS, no, helps decrease car accidents and traffic jams. So UTMS is an application or can be accessed through internet. This basically gives the vehicle operators real-time information of traffic congested areas and traffic and accident-prone areas. So UTMS, no, they can view their traffic. They can view the traffic status in particular areas to know where is the best way to pass. And also UTMS gives the best way or the best route possible to pass with lesser time used, no, when you are using this application or website. So also in the management of traffic in Japan. They are also advocating for the use of bicycle because the public transport of Japan is not like the Philippines. They don't have jeepneys, only taxis, no? So that's why people use bicycles, such as the students, daghan jud og mga user nga og bike sa Japan, and commendable public transport system. So we all know, no, Japan has the fastest trains, or also known as the bullet train. So that's why the traffic system or the traffic management system of Japan is commendable. And the offices that aids the Japan traffic management is the National Police Agency, or the Japan National Police Agency. They are in charge of implementing, regulating, and maintaining order in traffic management. Next is the country of Korea. So, Korea National Police is the main office in Korea that regulates, implements the laws of, or the traffic laws that aids traffic management. And they have this freeway traffic management system and intelligent traffic system. So what are these systems? These systems aids to improve the safety, efficiency, and reliability to travel on the nation's freeway facilities by providing real-time information of traffic to drivers and best routes to take to avoid traffic jams. So they are a lot like with UTMS sa Japan. The ITS is the system of service charged with different responsibilities such as toll systems, traffic signaling systems, infrastructure, planning, and transit info. So intelligent traffic system, no, is an integral system of all traffic systems. So what does this mean? This means na an intelligent traffic system is ang monitor of all systems with regards to traffic, such as the synchronization of traffic signals, the green and the red light, and the toll systems, no? So isa lang siya ka system. So these are the systems in Korea. So in India, so as you can see, no, the PowerPoint presentation in India, or the page of India, has no or less information. Only Indian Police Service, the Traffic Police Department, no, is the main office that aids the traffic management in India. So why is this? Indian traffic management is regarded to be poor. Kaya, no, wala akong naisulat since most informations na nakita ko sa internet is not touching on the subject matter of traffic management. Most lang na nakikita ko is, no, concerning the problems of Indians about their traffic congestion. So this is alarming, no, since India has no concrete systems that aid their traffic management concerning the rise of their vehicle use due to industrialization. And also, I have also watched a documentary about India and their traffic systems. You are able to get your license in India in only 10 minutes driving in a rotonda. No? I think that is very alarming. And also, in their public highways or their freeways, no, such as in the photo, you can see there are no restrictions of overloading, and the use of helmet is not encouraged. Also, in their highways, no, pwedeng sabay na dumaan ang public drone vehicles at ang mga trucks, buses, motorcycles, or any other vehicles. No, they don't have the specific lanes to segregate this type of vehicles. So next is traffic congestion. What is traffic congestion? Traffic congestion is a condition that involves overcrowding of vehicular transportation. Excuse me. So this means, as you can see on the photo, traffic congestions ang panagtapok sa mga sakyanan sa usa ka lugar, resulting to slower speeds of traffic caused by imbalanced rate of road development against the rise of traffic loads and due to disorderly conduct of drivers and pedestrians. So no matter how advanced a country is, traffic congestion will always be present, because this does not only result from the rise of vehicles or from the rise of vehicle ownership against infrastructure development, but as well as responsible drivers. And also, each country have their own rush hour where every vehicle is heading the same way. That's why this results to traffic jams. And then the cause and effect of traffic congestion to or in different countries, as you can see on the photo. So Philippines is known to be one of the most congested countries, because according to this famous author Dan Brown, when he was stuck in traffic for 6 hours in EDSA, he stated that EDSA was the gates of hell, which made him a persona non grata in Philippines because of his statement. So the causes of traffic congestion in the Philippines are the following: lack of quality infrastructure. So as we can see, ang mga dalan sa Pilipinas wa pa giguba na. That's why this leads to more traffic, and also the bridges or the roads are too narrow, and then the rise of car ownership is happening, and there are also planning problems in DPWH, such as mga, what do we call this, mga wala na human na project nga dala, half part asphalt, ang half pure cement. This is what we call now unbalanced proportion of car ownership. Tumataas ang nagmamay-ari ng mga sasakyan. However, the roads are not widened enough for these new cars to enter. So the effects of this traffic congestion in the Philippines is, number one, severe pollution, because there are more cars in our country with the emitting exhaust. They are emitting exhaust in their combustion system. This causes pollution and disruption of goods and services, because Philippines is a service provider country, in other, we export goods. So traffic or congestion makes the delay and may disrupt goods and services. Damage to vehicles. This congestion damages vehicles because there is longer periods of usage of these vehicles rather than there will be no congestion. And the loss of economic income, because there is a lot of time wasted spent in traffic. So next is Singapore. Causes of traffic in Singapore. So Singapore, the causes of traffic in Singapore is the traffic light timings are irregular, multiple private hire vehicles being driven in a reckless manner, economic development. And economic development. The economic development leads them to own more cars because this requires them to do more job, And also, Singapore, being an advanced country, still suffers from traffic congestion despite of its advancement. There are a number of roads in Singapore that are plagued by slow-moving heavy traffic. It ranked 45th at 2019 and 55th at 2020. However, they developed a scheme called anti-congestion that aims to avoid traffic jams in main cities. So, no, we all know that Singapore is a very advanced country. However, they still suffer this problem of traffic congestion. So, the meaning of these traffic light timings are irregular. No, there is no specific time for the green light to turn red and the red light to turn green. It is irregular, and multiple private hire vehicles are being driven in a reckless manner. So mga private hire cars, no, this is what we call, no, mga irresponsible drivers, leading to congestion and worse, accidents. Effects of traffic congestion in Singapore: excessive loss in economic income. So this, no, there are many effects, but this effect is the best effect, or the worst effect that they can undergo. And next is Japan. Japan, the congestion is the result of continuous expansion of residential areas towards the suburban and the heavy concentration of offices in central Tokyo. Demand is growing so much faster than new railways are built. So we all know Japan, Tokyo, Japan is their capital city where most of their works are undergoing. And there's industrialization, no? They are destroying the urban area for building houses and infrastructure. However, they lack building roads for vehicles to pass. And in Japan is a very small country. However, there is a very high car ownership and inadequate green time. So green time means go time in traffic signals. And traffic signals are out of sync. So dili synchronous. Effects of traffic congestion in Japan is loss of economic income. No? So most countries, these countries, no, they also the traffic congestion also gives them damage to cars and other effects. However, the loss of income to these countries are much serious than in the Philippines or other countries, because these countries are leading countries present in the world. Korea. Cause of traffic congestion in Korea: high private car owners, low public transport availability, unsynced traffic systems. So, despite technological advancement, no, traffic congestion is getting worse in Seoul, Korea, as the city and central governments fail to open up with effective measures. So as we know, no, today Korea is very famous in the Philippines. That's why they are growing severely in the sense of economical sense. However, no, kulang sa oras to create more ways for their vehicles. The advancement of technology, car ownership. That's why the rise of traffic congestion problems are also in the emergence in Korea. So the effects of traffic congestion in Korea are the following: loss of economic income and pollution. So lastly, India. Cause of traffic congestion: responsible drivers, poor road development, no concrete traffic management, and overpopulation. So, India is facing a devastating phenomenon due to congestion, such as severe loss of time and services. The India ranks as the 8th country with more traffic congestion, according to TomTom. This is a website that gives um, traffic congestion index yearly among countries, and Philippines ranks 9. No, they have only slight or minimal difference with India. India is 8, the 8th country, and the Philippines is the 9th. This is due to lack of infrastructure and balance among car ownership and road development. In India, all types of vehicles are able to pass their highways, which adds to the congestion level they experience. So, there are 5 countries that I have discussed. First is the Philippines, next is Singapore, Japan, Korea, then lastly India. So as you can notice, no, they have most of them have the same causes and effects. However, the effects have slight difference because in India and Philippines they have disruption of goods and services because these are third world countries. No, these are not business countries. These are service provider countries. That's why congestion gives more impact on the disruption of goods and services. That's why I highlighted these phenomenons or these effects and problems. Then the last topic of my discussion will be the Philippine offices with concern to traffic management. Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, is the first office, no, that is responsible in making roads. So they are responsible for planning, design, construction, and maintenance of infrastructure, especially the national highways, flood control and water resources development system, and other public works in accordance with national development objectives. So, no, as we can see, no, here in Davao City, there are many signages of DPWH repairing roads and constructing new roads, widening of highways, no. So this is their responsibility that aids traffic management in the Philippines. And Department of Interior and Local Government, the ILG. So the ILG is more on in charge on creating ordinances in local governments, responsible for promoting peace and order, ensuring public safety, and strengthening local government capability aimed towards the effective delivery of basic services to citizenry. So, this is what I am saying. Exercise general supervision over local governments. So, the ILG serves to supervise local governments because our main government has a wider scope of responsibility. That's why they created this department to supervise local governments, and the affiliation of this department to traffic management is by mandating and creating ordinances or laws and regulations among traffic management groups here in local governments. Next is Department of Transportation, or DOTR. The Department of Transportation is primarily policy, planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, and administrative entity of the executive branch of the government on the promotion, development, and regulation of dependable and coordinated network of transportation systems, as well as in the fast, safe, efficient, and reliable transportation of services. So, from the first, no, it is said that it is from the executive branch, meaning they are focused on implementing the created laws, and they are also in charge of planning for better and commendable systems that will aid traffic management in the country on how to traverse through from area to area in an efficient, safe, and fast way. So, Department of Health, it is a question why Department of Health, or it is It's a question why Department of Health has an affiliation with traffic management. So, the Department of Health is the principal health agency in the Philippines. It is responsible for ensuring access to basic public health services to all Filipinos through the provision of health care, provision of quality health care, and regulation of providers of health goods and services. So the question is, why is this affiliated with traffic management? So the answer is DOH provides statistics or conclusions about health problems regarding health problems from that are gained from the vehicles or from traveling using vehicles. So sometimes they will take notice that when it's too hot, it is not safe to travel, or when it is too cold, your body temperature will also get colder, and when it's hot, your temperature will also rise. This avoids accidents in roads. That's why they are affiliated with traffic management. And LTO, as we all know, the Land Transportation Office, inspection and registration of motor vehicles, issuance of license and permits, enforcement of land transportation rules and regulations, and adjudication of traffic cases. So the LTO is in charge of the credentials of drivers, that they will be able to drive or use motor vehicles. They will release a permit. But however, they are also an advocate of implementing these laws. That's why they have LTO officers, mandakop sa dalan. However, their main function is to record and maintain this registration of motor vehicles and their licenses and permits, such as the student permit and other permits that allows drivers to use their vehicles in Philippine territory. Traffic Enforcement Group, or CTTMO, serves as the sole transport and traffic management authority vested with powers to formulate, coordinate, and monitor policies, standards, and programs relating to transport and traffic management under the supervision and control of the city mayor. So una, CTTMO used to be called as TMC. I know this because my uncle is a CTTMO officer, assigned in Bangkerohan. So, and as I have also known, CTTMO is only present here in Davao City, and they are in charge of this is the major traffic management that I thought was the definition of traffic management, Kung ingon ako nga makita na ko nga magtabang sa flow sa traffic sa roads. However, CTTMO holds the main purpose, to regulate vehicles in highways, and they are also monitoring if these vehicles are abiding by the law. And HPG, or Highway Patrol Group, enforces the traffic laws and regulations, promote safety along the highways, enhance traffic safety consciousness through interagency cooperation concerning police traffic safety engineering, traffic safety education, and traffic law enforcement function, and develops reforms in the crime prevention aspect against all forms of lawlessness committed along national highways involving the use of motor vehicles. So, Highway Patrol Group is a division in the PNP. No? Highway Patrol Group are also police officers. They are law enforcers. And as we all know, we can see these enforcers along highways. And that is their function. No? Crime prevention that will occur or will possibly occur in highways. Next is the MMDA or the Metro Manila Development Authority. Planning, monitoring, and coordinative functions, and in the process, exercise regulatory and supervisory authority over the delivery of metro-wide services within Metro Manila without diminution of the autonomy of local government units concerning purely local matters. So MMDA is only functioning in Metro Manila areas. They are in charge of the regulation of vehicles and their and the policies that they are violating. No? MMDA is like the CTTMO in Davao City. Next is the Department of Education, DepEd. This is also a question why DepEd is also affiliated with traffic management, because DepEd so the definition of DepEd is formulates, implements, and coordinates policies, plans, programs, and projects in areas of formal and non-formal basic education. So why are they affiliated with traffic management? Because DepEd is in charge of teaching elementary and secondary level students the primary rules in highways, such as crossing in pedestrian crosswalks. No? This aids traffic flow in the Philippines by instilling to these young people to follow rules. No? And next is the Philippine National Police, or the PNP, tasked with enforcing the law to prevent and control crimes, maintain peace and order, and ensure public safety and internal security with the active support of the community. The preservation of peace and stability is an important factor in promoting economic development. So, as I have said, no, PNP has a subgroup which is branch which is called the HPG, or Highway Patrol Group, which is also affiliated with traffic management. No, they are in charge with crime prevention in highways. And then PNP. Why is PNP affiliated? So, as you have said, sir, from our topic in CLJ1, no? Police officers are jack of all trades. So, whenever there are accidents, people will contact the police department to consult and mediate the problem or in the accident. Commission on Higher Education, in charge with promoting relevant and quality higher education, ensuring access to quality higher education, and guaranteeing and protecting academic freedom for continuing intellectual growth, advancement of learning and research, development of responsibility and effective leadership, education of higher level professionals, and enrichment of historical and cultural heritages. So, the same as DepEd, no? CHED, that's what I am doing now. no? CHED is an aids the people, especially as tertiary learning students, no, to have knowledge about the subject matter. When with this, we can aid the traffic management by abiding laws and being a good citizen in the country. So in that case, CHED is affiliated with traffic management. And local government unit, providing the link between the people and government, address its community's problems and concerns, enforce policies, and hold influence over its communities. So local government units is affiliated with traffic management because this is the voice of the citizens. No, the best example was best example of the affiliation of LGU in traffic management was during the pandemic, when there was a wide use of bicycles, however, and the abuse of these cyclists. No, they are no longer abiding to their given lane. No, so in short, mugawas na sila sa bike lane, magpatunga na sila sa dalan, mao to nilikramo ang LGU about ani, and then they implemented a law or an ordinance na pag mo gawas sa bike lane ang kuano ana si Inday Sara nga pwede dakopon. So Land Transportation and Franchising Regulatory Board, LTFRB, responsible for promulgating, administering, enforcing and monitoring compliance of policies, laws, and regulations of public land transportation services. So LTFRB is more concerned about vehicle ownership or franchising and operating public transportation para na mga jeepneys, tricycle, taxi. No? So that's why they are affiliated with traffic management in the Philippines. So, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching and listening po, sir. God bless and stay safe.